So do you look straight into the camera, or what do you do? Or do we just like...
Don't look at the camera, just look at me.
It's such an awkward way for me to sit, like this.
Hi guys, welcome back to my vlog. I'm here with my friend Peter, who I studied with, and he's gonna tell us what he does. Yeah. Pete, what do you do?
Yeah, so I work for a bank. Studied mechanical engineering, but then ended up venturing into the financial world. Within the financial world, I'm currently a business analyst. So essentially what business analysts do is that they implement projects, and they're responsible for essentially delivering projects accurately and understanding what the stakeholder essentially wants to achieve, and yeah, just facilitating that entire process.
You're a business analyst.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
At a bank.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, you analyze the business and make sure it functions optimally.
You know what the funny thing? I personally think that the title business analyst is a bit misleading, because it's far reaching from just analyzing the business. It speaks more to like projects and delivery of projects, than not necessarily only in the context of a business.
So how's that different to project management?
It isn't. So you must remember that project management is essentially just facilitating in terms of pulling certain stakeholders together, ensuring that each and every party ultimately knows what they need to do, whereas the business analyst is actually the doer, is more of the actual person that gives the project and defines it based off of what a stakeholder has provided. I hope that it's a mouthful, but yeah, that's the difference.
So how do you get that job in a bank after studying like mechanical engineering?
Well, the post was there, so I applied for one. But the thing is, you must remember that it's not so much that the bank is looking for mechanical engineering knowledge, but then I think what they're looking for is a type of thinking. They know that you've obviously gone through this ruling degree, and to some capacity you have the ability to learn. So it's not so much that a lot of the stuff in the bank can be taught. So yeah.
So like I could have studied chemical, electrical, computer, anything.
Pretty much.
And I
pretty
could
much.
still do the job.
Pretty much. But there's certain disciplines within engineering where they don't necessarily hire them, but then I'd say like 95% of them can be applied in the banking industry.
What module, from first year to fourth year, what modules did we do that are helping you right now in your role?
To be quite honest, like honestly, each and every model that we did helps me in some capacity. So for one, I think maths helped me a lot, because it allows you to kind of like look for different ways to approach problems, because you know that when you're writing an exam, there's no one way to do it. So you try to figure out different types of ways to approach a problem. So I think that's the one big thing that I got or derived from varsity. I think maybe just the idea of project management. I think I do remember, actually I don't remember the courses, but then the ones that spoke to projects, I think are helping me a lot right now.
So I would think you would say, because when I think bank, I'm thinking like bank statement, financial, whatever.
Sure.
So I would have thought you'd be like, what do we do that's even remotely close to finance in mechanical engineering? We did stats. That's not even kind of financial.
But then you see, the thing is, there's different types of financial, shall I call it, disciplines. So for instance, you have these people, certain industries where that type of knowledge it's important for you to have it. Like for instance, if you are working with more of investment institutions where you have to look at portfolios and help customers in that sense, then yes, maybe I could see why you would need like a specialized type of qualification. But in terms of the line of work that I do, it's not necessarily, it's very like simplistic type of banking, if I can put it that way. So it doesn't need you to have a rocket science degree essentially for you to understand it. You can teach it.
How long have you been there?
I've been there, I think this year I'm approaching around 4 years.
And you started like as a grad or internship, or you just started like with a proper function title?
No. So I started as a grad, and then like I moved through the different positions within the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Like, what's your practically? Okay, first question. Practically, what do you do on a daily basis? You get to work, and then what until the end of the day?
I don't know if my job is gonna fire me, but like on a day-to-day basis, essentially, again, because I've been in the project space, it will be project related. So it could be ensuring that certain stakeholders we meet, see what the progress of a project is. We could be documenting a project in terms of what the stakeholder wants. So that's on a very high level. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Like, explain it in a way, because people who watch my vlog are like students mostly. Probably don't have a lot of work experience.
Sure.
And they're thinking, I don't know, when I was in varsity, I thought work was more fun than it is. And when I got to it, I was like, this is not what I was expecting. Sure. So explain it to a varsity student, like when you get to work, this is what happens.
Okay, so I'm also wary because it's intellectual property, so I don't want to cross that boundary. But like it's essentially a lot of your day is ultimately filled with you engaging with people, trying to understand in terms of, here's a problem on the table, how do we solve it, how can you facilitate me in terms of solving this particular problem. So most of the day is spent in terms of trying to understand what problems there are, trying to understand how you can help your stakeholder within the context of the bank in terms of solving that particular problem. So meetings on the laptop a lot, documenting requirements,
which is basically most engineering jobs. Meetings, documents, emails. Yeah. So like, is it worth 4 years of like intense studying?
Yeah, no, like to be quite honest, I don't regret, or rather I don't have any reservations in terms of having gone through those 4 years. They were really a good couple of years. Yeah, I honestly don't have any reservations.
Okay. So you studied mechanical engineering, then you went into the banking world, right? So like, am I right in saying engineering is not like your passion? Like, you're not so passionate about it. It was easy for you to switch roles.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. So it's a mixture of, number one, I wasn't opposed to kind of exploring outside of the engineering faculty, but then at the same time, the circumstances at the time dictated that they also influenced my decision. But then I'm very much also still passionate, and at some point, even if it's not professional, and just in my personal life, I actually wouldn't mind pursuing it.
When you say circumstances, do you mean like financially? Like
No. So the job market, South Africa's job market was a bit tough. Yeah.
So like, when I was young, in high school, I don't really think I knew what engineering was. Like, I wasn't one of those people. A lot of people like, yeah, I studied engineering because when I was young, I used to take things apart, and then I think my sister tried studying engineering and I heard about it and I was like, let me give this a shot. Why did you?
So for me, it was a bit of, I honestly feel that I liked solving problems, and like from a very young age I enjoyed maths, but then I also just didn't want to do maths by itself. So I wanted to throw in a bit of a challenge for me, and the challenge for me was introducing science into the mix. And one of the few degrees that offered that was the engineering faculty, and I think for me mechanical engineering just resonated more with me because I grew up in like a village, so you'd have bicycles, they'd break down, you'd have to fix it, you'd have to do all of these things. we used to have these wire cars that we used to make, so that's also what sparked my interest.
Would you encourage people to like apply for this role that you work in, like to be a business analyst? Like, are you an advocate
for sure,
for
100%,
the position
yeah.
and in the banking industry?
Yeah, like I'm honestly, number one, I think I'm an advocate for people doing things that they are passionate about, for one, right? So if you're passionate about the financial industry and you want to try it out, I'd definitely say try it out. I think the current role that I'm in allows me to learn so much, like about the bank, so much about how systems work and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's definitely something very enjoyable. And if someone was to say that I'm an engineering student and I want to explore the banking side of things, I'd definitely encourage them to try business analysis.
Okay. And if you could do things all over again, would you still study mechanical engineering?
100%.
Like you wouldn't change it, software engineering, like or anything
Yes.
like that, or finance, BCom, nothing, you'd still do?
Yeah, I'd still do that. I honestly don't see myself having studied anything else.
Okay.
Like honestly, like if you look at engineering, it had almost a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's whether it was finance, whether it was maths, whether it was engineering and the built environment, whether it was programming, we've done all of that stuff. So I think it's nice to kind of like dip your toes in each and every stream.
So like I was having a conversation with someone and they said they think mechanical engineering is getting outdated because everything is starting to be automated. So I feel like the industry wants more software engineers, mechatronics engineers, electrical engineers. And as a mechanical engineer, mostly what you wanted for is maintenance work. And a lot of mechanical engineers are in other industries, such as like being business analysts. So is it getting outdated, the degree?
So for me, I think it's twofold, and the reason why I'm saying that it's twofold is that I don't necessarily think that it's outdated in and of itself, but then I do think that within the context of where we stay, there's not a lot of opportunities for us to apply ourselves outside of maintenance. So I think that's the way I see it.
Where we stay is in South Africa.
Yeah, as in like
yeah, I totally agree. Like South Africa is
it's
a whole
just
thing.
an opportunity thing. It's not so much
mechanical engineers.
Because a lot of what ultimately engineers here in South Africa do is that we just essentially serve as a maintenance, like you said, like it's more of a maintenance role, and a lot of the heavy machinery and the more complex stuff is from abroad and brought into South Africa.
Okay, and then financially wise, like working in a bank or for a bank as a business analyst, will you live a comfortable life?
Oh, that's very subjective. But yeah, you definitely, in any industry, I think you can live a comfortable life.
Are you content?
I'm very content. We can joke about it, but then I think I'm blessed because, like I said, I think South Africa, it's the job market is like, just by virtue of having a job, you're blessed. So I think from that perspective, I'm definitely very content.
I don't know. I think for now, that's all the questions I have. Like, I don't know, maybe one day when you have a different role, like I want to know like what's your take then. But like, is there anything else that you would like people who are studying that you want them to know?
I think for me, it's just stay true to yourself. Don't also go with what other people are going with. Stay true to your interests, and just right away take the opportunities. I think also the one mistake that we also tend to make is that we also tend to look at opportunities from the lens of purely just money. It's like I come out of varsity, they told me that I'm gonna earn millions and millions and millions, but then it's not like that. So just also be realistic with that type of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you guys learned something, took some stuff from it. If you want to hear more from Peter and learn more, understand more about his role, please write it down on the comments, and then maybe we could have him back to tell us more. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.